Okay, so what we did in the previous episode was that we did a little bit of cleaning. We trimmed, we used upper cases, lower cases, and proper cases. And now we want to learn a few more functions and tools to clean our data set. It's going to look much better than it already does. So if you remember, the last thing we did was that we capitalized the first letters of each word in the names. Now let's stay with names. What if I wanted these names to be the first names and the second names, or the surnames, to be separated from each other? Sometimes that happens. We need to separate this information. Well, there's a way for it. All I have to do is select the range of names that I want to change, or the data that I want to split, and then we go to data, and there's an option, text to columns. This takes me to a wizard that will guide me step by step how to do it. So on the first step, it's asking us, is there any criteria for splitting? Is it a character like a comma or a tab? Well, for us, it's the space between the words, or it's a fixed width. It needs to know what the criteria is in order to split. So for us, it's delimited. If we click next, it asks us what the delimiter is. Well, it's not a tab, so I'm going to uncheck that. For us, it's a space. Once I click space, look what happens here. It splits, and it splits correctly. Now we press next. In this stage, it asks us what the content is. Now, you could always put general and let Excel itself identify what it is, but it's better practice for you to tell it what it is. So because it's a text, I'm going to press text. Then I'm going to select the second column and again let it know that it's a piece of text. And we're done. Once we click finish, the two are split from each other, the first names and the second names. Now, sometimes this is too much information. We're going to do the opposite of what we did just now. We split the names. Now we want to stick them together. How do we do that? Well, let's open up a column over here. And again, let's make sure that the attributes haven't transferred along with the column. Format cells. You see, we have to choose general for the formula to work. And the function here is concatenate. And concatenate is a fancy word which means stick things together. And that's what we want to do, stick things together. So we want to stick Anna to Mueller. Now, if I run this code right now, we're going to have a problem. And the problem is Anna and Mueller will stick exactly to each other without any spaces between them. Take a look. We don't want that to happen. The reason is because we didn't define a space in the formula, and it's easy to define one. All I have to do is open, I just have to use double quotations, put a space inside, and again a double quotations, comma. We've told Excel to take F2, put a space after it, and then put G2. Now let's see if our formula works. Sure enough, it works. So let's just apply that to the rest of the list. And we're done. Now I can just copy this, paste the values here. There we go. Paste the values and just get rid of these two extra columns. Okay, that leaves us with two more things to do. Find duplicates and blanks. Now I'm going to select my entire data, then go to the data tab. There we go. And there is an option here, remove duplicates. If I click on that, it tells me which columns I want checked. Well, I want all of the columns to be checked. So okay. And 2 duplicate values found and removed. 24 unique values remain. So there were 2 duplicate values and we've gotten rid of it just like that. And now we want to look for blanks. Now this is a small data set, granted, but sometimes you have a huge data set and finding blanks manually isn't really feasible. So all we have to do is Control A, select our entire data. Now this is going to seem a little bit difficult, but in the future we will talk more about conditional formatting, which is right over here under the Home tab. We click on conditional formatting, highlight cell, more rules, and under cell value, we choose blanks. Now what's going to happen is that we're going to see blanks like this. Now let's see if there are any blanks. Oh yes, there is. It turns out that the store in Hanover, the customer ratings of the store is missing. Now it's your decision what to do with missing data. You can either just leave it that way, or you can fill it with the average of the other data so that it doesn't interfere with your calculations. Or a better option is always to ring up the source that you have received this data from and ask them what the missing value is. In this case, we did call them, and the missing value was 4.3. Once I enter that value, it's no longer red because it's no longer blank. You see, with cleaning data tools, you can make this data set much more comprehensible. You can remove the errors that will later on cause problems and mistakes in your calculations. Cleaning data is an essential part, and to be honest, it is actually fun because you see how beautiful this data becomes and you become familiar with it. Go ahead and start cleaning data on your own databases and see how great it is.